Malcolm, Malcolm, Malcolm X. What's next? Malcolm, Malcolm, Malcolm X.
Welcome. Message for the streets. Interesting topic. We're going to deal with famous Nation of Islam leader at one time, Minister Malcolm X. Some people in 2025 seem to think that Malcolm would have been more pro-Democrats than Republicans. And I'm going to say that you don't know what you're talking about. Malcolm wouldn't have supported the Democrats or the Republicans. One of my buddies, my mans in them, my brother, he brought it to my attention that Malcolm said in one of his speeches, which I had failed to recall. But once I seen the speech, I remember him saying it. He was saying that you put them first and they put you last. And that's because you're a chump and you're a traitor to your people. And he was talking about how the Democrats was carrying the so-called blacks in those days of time. We got to remember that there were two different types of Democrats. We had the Dixiecrats and then the Democrats that were kind of like on the, on the edge, on the line of advocating certain things for so-called blacks. Then we're going to examine what Malcolm X said about the Republicans. He said the Republicans and the Democrats are both from the canine family. We got the Southern Wolves and the Northern Foxes. The Wolves are the Dixiecrats. And the Dixiecrats, they want to just have segregation. They want to devour you. They want to disrespect you. They want to do all the negative things to you. Whereas though the Northern Foxes, who were the Republicans at that time, they want to invite those Negroes over for tea. No, coffee, he said. He said these Negroes can't resist that coffee. It's an integrated type of thing. It got the black coffee and the white milk, so it's integrated. He said, but the Foxes, they're going to do the same thing, but they just coming about it in a sly type of way. They make you feel like that you accept it, they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they ain't going to do nothing. Whereas though, again, those wolves down in those Dixiecrats, they despise, hated, wanted to lynch and kill so-called blacks because the so-called blacks' presence and what we was moving forward towards was disrupting their way of life. So we got the wolves and the foxes. And right now today, people think in their mind that Minister Malcolm would have advocated the Republican Party. You can't find that nowhere in none of his speeches or nothing he ever said that he advised so-called blacks to rally behind the Republican Party. He most definitely spoke on the disrespectful relationship that so-called blacks have with the Democrats. And we can see that right now today. But now, this is the whole scenario to the thing. Right now today, the attitude and the character of the Dixiecrats exists in the Republican Party, and nobody can deny that. We got every white nationalist group in the United States that's a part of that party. And because some of these money-hungry Negroes, they so their God is money, and they look at what Donald J. Trump is promising them, which he has lied and lied and lied again. He's a politician. And nobody should be surprised at that. Only but those that have been drinking that Trump juice. Oh, he said he was going to do this. Now he did this. When the situation hit home, when you can actually identify with what his policy is doing, this is when you got a problem with it. But when it's right there on your face in black and white, right there up on the stage, when he's spitting it out of his mouth, when in his first term, how he was always pro-police, never had no sympathy for the so-called blacks that would get murdered by these slave-catching police officers, these law enforcement officers, these lawless officers. He never had nothing to say about that. And you still want to act like you from the streets and you about that life and all that. Man, y'all with that? Y'all are some traitors to the people. If you with the Democrats or the Republicans, you traitors to the people in my book, because can't neither one of them help us. They can't help themselves. They can't help the United States. That's why it's in $36 trillion of deficit right now today, and they can't get out of it, no matter what they do. The only thing they're going to do is do their politics and continue to trick, manipulate, and lie and steal and kill if they have to by causing wars all around the planet. They try to divert the attention to their failure. So my thing is, if you support either party, you know better than the person that you think that is tripping over the other party, because neither one of these parties had the best of the interest of the so-called melanated people, the so-called people that was in bondage, enslaved, went through Jim Crow, black code, sundown towns, redlining, juryman, segregation. Neither party had the best of the interest of the people in totally. What they do, they feed you little crumbs, and because you're so hungry and you don't believe in doing for yourself, you keep on relying on the children of the slave masters to do it for us. And as long as we keep that attitude, we can continue to be slaves in 2025 and beyond. I bring you this message in love. I leave you this message in peace. And anyone prove to me that Malcolm would have supported the Republican parties.
I'll be waiting.